Hello, Bertold. Hello again.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm fine. So I'm ready to answer all questions.
Ready to answer. So, before we answer the questions, I'm just going to introduce us. I'm Iris Shaham, Family Constellation Facilitator and artist, a curious person. And I'm sitting with you, Dr. Bertold Ulsamer. How, how do you introduce yourself?
It depends where I am.
Right now with me here in this 5 special episodes.
No, I don't introduce me with via episodes. I'm Bertold from Germany, 77 years old, did 30 years constellations. I'm still eager to explore them. I like to work. I like to dive deeper. So that's my introduction.
Wonderful. Um, so we're doing a special 5 episodes series about topics that I bring. The first one was about you and your work and a little bit of introduction. This time I want to talk about couples. Couples.
Oh, about couples. Okay.
Couples, yes.
Yes.
I know you worked a lot with this topic, and I'm very curious to hear after, doing it for so long, uh, what what stayed with you? What is the essence that you learned or, you know,
So I have to think. It
yeah.
depends of the question of the couple or of the person who is asking or has the problems,
Mm,
and it depends of this question in which direction to look first, in a way. And there are two directions basically when you work with couple issues. One is a situation between the partners. So here are the grown-ups. They have to take responsibility about their feelings, about their behavior, what they are. And at the same time, there is this loyalty to the family background. So each person is loyal in more or less to the old family. And with that, there come problems in the couple. And the other is the same. So also loyal to his family. And each of them has its own childhood, their own childhood experiences, or their own wounds. So and these wounds are coming up when you are in a relationship because you are coming close. So you open your heart, and when you open your heart, all wounds which are in your heart, and your heart has many wounds, will coming up. Otherwise, you cannot really be loving with your heart. So this is some essence.
okay. Interesting. Do you have any memory of um, something very challenging that a couple came and you thought this is so challenging?
The only thing which comes in my mind is not, yeah, it's related to that. So a story I tell often in my trainings too.
Mhm.
There was a woman, she was divorced and she had 5 children with her former husband. And she said, I want to do a constellation. And because we have to meet once in a while because the children were still small. And so, and every time there's a big fight and conflict and struggle. So, and I said, okay, let's look at it. And they set up her and the husband, for ex-husband, and he could not look at her. So I said, did anything happen with him, to him? And he said, yes, his father died when he was 3 years old. So you could see he has this father wound in a way. So I was, yeah, okay, let's look at it. I was eager to do something good. I set up his father, and he turned to his father and made some steps that he can connect with his father. So he found his strength. It was really beautiful. Then he turned and then he could look at his wife. She felt now the connection. And so everybody thought, oh, this was a good constellation. And 3 months later, it was a part of a training. She came back and I said, how was it when you met him next time? She said, it was worse than ever. Huh. I said, and why and how? He said, he was not changed. He was the same man as always. So I realized, oh my God, I did a mistake. I was stupid. I worked with someone who was not here, present. He was not interested in anything, just to make the client happy. So it's like baking the right man for the woman. So this is the man she wanted. I think many women want a certain kind of husband. So, and it's not possible to go into the constellation and then the facilitator changes the husband so that then the woman is happy. This is not possible. The client has to change. So if you are dealing with a couple issues as a partner, you have to change. You have to see your side. So, and I said, oh, I did a mistake. I was seeing it immediately. Oh my God. And then I said, okay, let's do the constellation again. And this time I did work only with her. So the man was like that. And I tried to bring out all the emotions she had. And there was such an anger against him. And the final sentence she said was, I'm full of contempt for you. I want only your money and the children are mine. Then I said, okay, now this is a good ending because that was clear. And with that, she changed. And I saw her later, next time, something was different. She could see something in herself. And this was changing. And then she could deal in a different way with the husband. So that is, I learned really for constellation work, when it's a constellation of present family, the client has the task to see, to change, or to understand. You don't change the world around him to make him or her happy.
Yeah.
And I think this may happen once in a while. In the constellation of the family of origin is different. I don't know why, but it's different. So when a child is a client, so the client, and then I feel allowed to change, to deal with the parents, with the grandparents, to make peace inside. And this had a good effect towards the child, to the client. He opens his heart more, but not in constellation of present family. That is different.
Interesting. Okay. Wow. I know you also, it takes me to another direction, but you had a few workshops around the rage between men and women.
Yeah. My wife always said me, you are so full of rage against women.
What did she say?
What she said?
Yeah, I
My
couldn't
wife said,
hear. Yeah.
you are so full of rage against women.
Oh.
Woman. And slowly, as an old husband, I learn more and more that she, once in a while, is right.
So again, you were attracted to that rage, and that's why you made that workshops to explore it.
Yeah, rage is a big issue for myself. I remember even when I was 25 years ago, and I was around Bert Hellinger, and I had some close contact, and he once said, you are talking, rage is something so important for you. This is coming up when you're talking. And I just said yes, and I looked at him, and I said, and your rage is frozen. I I said inside, I didn't tell him.
You felt his rage.
But I could see it. There is rage, but held together and frozen in a way. So it comes out once in a while.
Because we all have it, I guess.
We all have it.
Yeah, it's just how
And I have
deeply.
yeah, we all have it. It's an important energy. I say sometimes rage is the the wood for the fire of passion.
Oh,
So
so
the more rage you have, the more passionate you can be.
hmm. And how can it help a couple? This rage, can it?
Well, that makes it difficult, the relationship.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Because you have the passion and you come together full with this deep rage, with this energy. And then you are so angry and you could kill the other, and it's also, and you feel so hurt and lost and everything. It's all this kind of, the rage is there. So you
yeah.
have to learn in a way to contain it more. That means not to be overwhelmed by your rage.
Mm,
And one thing is what I find so important in couples is the more you discover your similarity, the more you find a different ground. And it makes such a difference. Let's say both are so angry. And then he says, I could kill you. And she says, I could kill you. And when they say, we are similar, you could kill me right now, I could kill you right now. We are similar. We have the same rage. So discovering the similarities is, in a way, it's helpful because this is connecting.
yeah. Yeah, it's a good tip. And I remember it from your workshop as a very strong stance to come to couples to find what is similar here.
What is similar? And
Yeah,
we are so similar. You are loyal to your family. I am loyal to my family. We are similar.
yeah,
You want to have always the last word, and I want to have always the last word. We are similar. You want to be right. I want to be right. We are similar. Okay.
yeah. A lot of the work in family constellation is almost like to clean the window so we can see the other person
Yeah.
exactly as he is. But I was thinking about how I grew up with these stories, fairy tales about, happily ever after. When
Yeah.
you meet the man, then everything will work out and all this. And, and then you're like, oh,
Touching when you say, this dream is so beautiful.
it's beautiful. I love this dream. But then you meet the man or the partner, and you realize that reality is a little different,
Yeah.
and and the gap can be big.
Yeah.
So what's your tip for couples, um how to deal with this gap? They fantasize that once they meet the
Yeah,
one.
it's in a way you have to wake up because these romantic fantasies come from childhood. These are child dreams. That means a child wants to have the perfect, loving, always loving mother and perfect and always loving father. And because this cannot happen, because it's not human, there are wounds. And then you go into your life and look for someone to heal the wounds. And when you fall in love, and then there are moments where you think, now I found the person who can heal these wounds. And then you will be disappointed. And then when you are young, you look for the next person, change because you think this was the wrong one. And then there may come a time where you are now, you give up and say, okay, I'm so tired. I cannot go again for a new partner. So you decide to remain together. And then there are two ways. Either you stay and feel the frustration that you don't get what you very deeply want. Or you find a new way to relate with your partner and find a different form of love, of connection, a more grown up love and connection, a deeper understanding. What does it mean to be a human being? Suffering and anger and everything. That is a chance for a mature relationship.
Do you believe in love from first sight? Like when you see
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
and you
sure. Yeah, it happens. I read stories. When
you
I was
read
young,
story.
when I was 16, I remember, oh my God, I was struck by one look. So this exists.
Yeah. So w- what is that kind of love? I mean, it's
I don't know if nature is doing strange games and playful.
strange
This is
game. Yeah.
it's great when it happens. If it doesn't happen, it's also okay. every And you never know. Some people tell when they are in the retirement in the seniors home, and then they fall in love with 80 years. My God, it's also possible. You never know what is
You
coming.
never know.
It's life.
Yeah. The secret of life. It's amazing. Yeah. When it
Yes,
happens. Yeah. I agree. Um, you know, I did you ever move the house with a partner or buy a house together or
So I have this personal long story with I married. We didn't live together before, and then it was difficult. And I wanted to buy a house at that time. I had really the family task is you should have a house for your wife. And I bought some ground, and it was stupid, much too fast, and it was so it was a loss of money in a way because and then we don't live together since 15 years now.
hmm,
So and 5 kilometers distance, and we make holidays together and meet, and we have voice dialogues and video calls. Yeah, so but there may come a day when we again go together.
interesting. I The reason I asked you this question is because I we bought a house and uh, I thought who who makes the decision? It's really hard because you're two people. One
Yeah,
wants this and wants that, and who is leading? Who is taking the decision? It's that's what came to my mind just because of my personal, where I'm at in life. Um, yeah,
yeah, but probably you didn't take the decision, so otherwise you wouldn't ask.
I wanted to ask, how did you know? But you already answered it. Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Because the
I
person
agreed.
who,
I agreed to the decision. Yeah,
yeah, but it was not so easy, it seems to me right now.
I agree. Yeah. So what is a golden tip you can give a couple that they got married, they had a fantasy, now they in reality, and what can constellation offer them? You know,
I say something quite different. When I was at the beginning of constellation work, I made once an interview with Bert Hellinger about constellation work. And I asked him, uh, what can what can you learn for your relationships of constellations? And he said, this is already a wrong question because it means you want to control the relationship. And this is not possible. So it's not in your hands. This is radical, and I see we have many things to support relationships, but this is also one side of it. You cannot manage it in a way totally. You can do your best. And all couples, I would say, everybody does the best. And then it's sometimes quite sad when you do your best and the other does his best or her best, and then it doesn't fit and you separate. So this is also a part of life.
You know, he was very radical, Bert Hellinger, when it came to couple, at least to me, when I was looking, he was sometimes telling the couple, it's over. It's done. And I find it like, wow, how can you tell a person it's very straightforward in you know.
I never saw this, but I read it, and he said I said this one, and they decided to separate. And 2 weeks later, they came to me and said, "We came together again. We followed your advice and separated, and we found out this is not right, so we are together again." So okay.
That's a good story.
Well, it was a good intervention in a way, maybe, because they became clear that they want to be together.
Hmm. So again, we go back to constellation that we cannot control it. We can only reveal what's right now is happening between the couple.
In a way.
In a way, I'm looking at my
Question,
notes.
yeah.
Yes, and I'm thinking about the couple thing is rooted in the history of humanity. I mean, how is it called? Noah's Ark. When they are up on the boat, they go in couples. There's Adam and Eve. Now I feel like I don't know, but it feels like there's a change. You know, when people get married, it used to be a very solid, like, oh, you get married, you do kids, and then you die. But now it feels like there's something is happening. Many people separate. Many people are looking for themselves in the relationship. And there's also like not just men and women, there's woman and woman and men and men. I don't know. Do you feel this change? Do you feel this?
Yeah, I think it's changing.
Why do you think, or what do you see?
So I have one explanation. In one hand, it's a part of the general growth of humanity. We don't know in which direction, but we are growing, and emotions are coming up more, and many things are coming up which were covered. One thing is what I said, because yesterday I was talking about reproductive medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in the old times, 50 years ago, still it was clear that when there's a child, there is one father, one mother, and they are needed, and then have a child may be born. And this is now changing because this is no more needed. You can sperm donation, you can egg donation, you can make more female eggs together, more sperms together. So something fundamental is changing, and it's so that these both sexes are no more so necessary that
Mm.
life goes on. Medicine, science can do it also. And I think maybe this has an influence that also the sex, man, woman now is just becoming more open. It's changing, and new aspects are coming up,
Mm.
and you don't know from where it comes, and it is. So this is one way of seeing it.
Before this talk, I talked to my girlfriends and asked them, if you could be in this conversation, what would you ask as married women or being in a couple? And many were asking about there's a lot of times in couples there's different pace. One is very quick and one is
Yeah,
very slow.
yeah.
And so we looked at the couples and we saw that most of my friends have this gap, and they were asking how you deal with this. How do you?
No, I remember there's a Swiss therapist who was writing books about it, and he said often you are attracted by a difference
Mm.
from you are quick, the other is slow. And you think, oh, I would like to, this is good for me too, that somebody slows me down. And the slow person thinks, oh, there's a quick person. I think she or he gives me energy. And the frustration is that what was attracting at the beginning later becomes the source of anger. And because, and this makes sense, is you wanted the slowness for yourself and you are fast, and the slow person wanted the fastness for himself or herself. So the more you learn to take something from the other, the less the difference becomes a problem for you. So you must change something in yourself and not because the other is as he is. You wanted him like that. You got him. We have this constellation sentences. I take my responsibility for my choice and I carry the consequences.
Mm.
So if you are angry, you will change, become slower or become weaker. Do something yourself. Don't
So,
feel as a victim. Do something.
yeah. So again, it's coming back to the person. Like a person come with a question, it's on him. It's like you said, I don't work with the other one. I work with the client that came with the question. Do you work with couples together?
Rarely,
Rarely.
I, rarely, right? So, some sessions I had.
Yeah.
But I work in the same way. In a way, I work first with one and then with the other, or I ask what is the common issue. Sometimes they have something, and then it's good to deal with a couple. If someone comes, I'm so hurt because the other took all the money for himself or cheated me or whatever, then it's good to come that both face it, what was there.
Okay. So
Most
it's,
often,
yeah.
like your examples, it's good that somebody looks first to himself.
So even if a couple comes, you would work with her and then with
I
him.
would ask, what is your issue?
What's
And
the issue?
I decide following what is important right now.
Mm.
I may
Yeah.
be wrong, but I follow this path of instinct. What is
Yeah.
the first thing you want to solve or to face? It's not about solving. It's about facing, about naming it. So
Mhm. And in your workshop, do you find couples coming together, or it's mostly people that wants to deal with
mostly people alone.
by themselves?
But once in a while, I have a couple. It's nice.
Yeah. I don't know, but something about the rage was curious for me. Where is it coming from?
What?
The rage that we were talking before, the rage between men and women that you talked
Great.
a
It's a
bit.
good protection.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good protection against pain.
Okay.
So as long as you feel rage, you feel empowered, and you don't need to feel your wounds and your pain.
Mm.
So it's easier to be angry than to feel the sadness or of the pain you have inside.
So if a person feel big rage, you will advise him to see what's behind it.
It depends. Yeah, but
Depends.
this is my point of view.
Yeah.
I know it. There must be big suffering beneath.
Ha-
And then if there's a couple and both are full of rage, that means there's a lot of suffering beneath. If they could show and feel the suffering, they would feel much more, they would have much more closeness. But it's so painful to allow the pain in a way.
Yeah.
And it's risky. And so
Yeah. As we speak, I'm thinking also about the culture because the culture gives us images on how it should be. And I'm thinking about there's cultures that the man can marry few wives
Yeah.
And it's very different than in the Western world that you only
Yeah.
have one. How do you treat this? Did it ever come up in your work?
More women. Not yet. I go
Not.
to Dubai in
Ah,
March probably, but I don't know if they are modern participants. Probably they don't have different wives, and mostly women are coming. But it's so clear in the constellation, you have the order, then you know who is the first wife, first place, second wife, third wife, fourth place. So it's not, in a way, it's nothing which is problematic for someone who does constellations.
mm-hmm. Yeah, you use the
Culture
same.
may be a problem for you, but not when you lead a constellation, to find for everybody the place, to see what is needed to have peace. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's important to find his place in the system. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And when I am accepted, I'm the third wife, then it's okay. If I don't accept it and I'm the third wife, then I have problems. If I want to be the first,
yeah,
it's the same what we have in relationships where the first divorce, second divorce, third divorce, you are the third wife and you want to be the first, but you are the third. That's very similar.
yeah. And for people who doesn't know these orders, um, maybe you can talk a little bit about how important it is to acknowledge uh, the the former relationships in order to be more free in the current one.
Yeah. So it's you must, the more you are in peace with your former love, the better it's for the following relationships. If you are still struggling, if you are still denying it, then it will be present in your next relationship, and probably also when you have kids, something can come out of that. So
Yeah.
it makes sense for you and the relationships when you deal with, come in peace with the former relationship.
It's a good tip because a lot of people have tendency to say, "Oh yeah, that was before. I don't want to look at it. I'm looking for something new."
Yeah,
So
yeah, that is American style. You leave your homeland and then you're going into new, and it's still there.
yeah.
We in Germany, we have the word, I close it off. I don't know if you say it in English. So I closed it off. And when I hear it, then I had this picture, okay, there's a big door and you have a key and you turn it and you say, this is behind the door,
Mm,
and you go to the future, but it's still there. And
yeah.
it's in your body, in your mind. You cannot really totally deny it. So it will it will influence you if you want it or not.
Yeah. So we're coming to the end very quickly again. Um, I don't know if you feel like giving exercise or small meditations for people who are in couples at home, or
Just make a small promotion,
what do you mean?
because I plan in March 26th a
Okay.
big international event, Men and Women, Rage and Love in Romania. And it will be international. And I hope my Chinese friends will come and from other countries and Romanians. 5 days where
Wow.
I really want to explore all these issues. I'm
Wow.
looking forward.
Wow. But people
So
need to buy a ticket to Romania, March
yeah,
26th.
yeah,
Okay.
they can find it out when they want. In the next 2 weeks, we will have the offering of that they can sign in and write in. So I, yeah, I'm looking really forward to it. I
Wonderful. So,
expect 100 people, and I have plans for the first constellation rituals and things. So will,
wow.
I hope it will be something really strong to explore what is going on between men and women.
Oh, I'm very curious to what will become
Okay,
coming
now
out.
your exercise. You want to exercise for what? For whom? Just tell me again.
For any person who is in a couple and wants to find a good stance to be in a couple, because a good stance, a good place to stand.
Okay. Okay. So when you are looking this, I invite you to really feel where you are sitting. You close your eyes. You breathe. And you imagine you and your partner. If you're alone, you imagine your former partner. And you look which place the other has and which place you have. Are you standing in front? Are you standing side by side? So are you looking in different directions? So and you find out what is right for you when you start to move. What would be a good movement for you? And often it's very helpful when you look also once your partner in the eyes. You're not just moving and not seeing the other. So maybe you just look into the eyes, and then it's important to have the right distance. We are often too close. When you are too close, you are too emotional. That means you don't really see the other. So you can experiment to go forward and backward and see what difference does it make when you go some steps back, then it's too far, then you go forward. What is the right distance where you really can see the other as if you would see him for the first time? This is a human being with whom you are together. This is a mystery. This is a gift. You take it too often for granted. Just allow to feel this mystery. There are problems, but when you are in a relationship, there is love. And when it's a former relationship, there had been love. And this is a gift. Just feel whatever you are feeling. And it's okay. If you can feel the gift, if you feel your anger, if you feel your loneliness, whatever you feel, just allow it. And you breathe and you give space to whatever you feel. Hey, that's a short exercise, so slowly you can come back.
Wonderful. I'm glad you did this exercise, because people can really feel how you work in a way. And I love these exercises. They're small but very big, because so much is coming up and you can gain a lot from that.
You can, the smallest exercise, when it's in a good atmosphere, when you are open, it can reveal so much. You can go so deep.
Yeah, in very, very short time, which is amazing. Bertold, thank you so much. I see that our time is up. So we were talking about couples from many directions, and for me, the exercise is because it's taking to the body and to my individual space, and everyone has their individual space. It brings us together, but everybody is in his own sphere with his own images. So thank you so much for this. Yeah.
What is the topic next time? Because it was a surprise. What?
I don't know yet. It's going to
Okay, surprise
surprise
again.
both of us.
I'm looking forward.
Me too. Thank you so much. I'm just saying again, and I'll put a link to your March 26th conference in Romania, and some books that is around this subject. And see you next time.
See you. I'm looking forward.